Most of us are so busy in asking, what is life giving me, that you're forgetting to ask a much more important question. What is my posture towards life? How am I meeting life? What are the perspectives, the biases, the attitude towards which I am meeting life? Now, to make this question a little bit simpler, imagine you had a friend, and this friend of yours is always me, 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 me. So you start a story and the friend would say, yeah, good story, but listen to what I did. You tell about your recent travel plan and the person would say, yeah, okay, good travel, but listen about the time I went to Switzerland. Every single instant, every single moment is as if the world revolves around this person. What gift did you get me? Why didn't you invite me to the party? Why didn't you get me into the travel plan? Why didn't you listen to me? And so on and so forth. And now imagine you had to spend every day, every moment with this person. Would you be able to do that? Really? And happily? Probably not. And now imagine that as obnoxious as this person sounds, most of us are living our lives in a similar manner. We are constantly seeking validation from the world. We are constantly competing for attention in this world. And everything we are doing, we are asking the question, what are you? What is this world giving to me? If something goes good, we say, well, I did so much work and hence I deserved it. If something goes bad, I am more of the opinion that, the world is unfair to me. Why does this always happen to me? Regardless, it's always me at the center of everything which is happening. And worse still, we are so much lost in thoughts that none of us are pausing enough to even acknowledge this situation, that this is how we are meeting life. No wonder we are constantly stretched and continuously striving to get something, because we are in this needy mode. Something is missing from my life. Something more needs to be done. And for that, I'm grabbing at everything around me. Now that seems to be the problem. So what could be the possible solution here? Well, number one, we have to realize that life is not a transaction. It's not that on a balance sheet I have to measure, okay, this is what I did, this is what I got in return, and hence this event was good or bad, profitable or loss. Life is not a transaction. It is a relationship. It's like we are all together in this ecosystem, striving to thrive together. And as long as the only thing which I have in my mind is me, I am priming myself for failure. I am priming myself for disappointment. And I'm priming myself for this continuous state of discontent. So number one is that we have to sort of realize, even if not practically, at least intellectually, we have to see that this is not really a good way of living. Treating everything as a transaction, treating my friends, my relatives, my work, my career, my job, even my passion and my hobbies as a transaction is a recipe for disaster. And how do we, after acknowledging this intellectually, how do we actually put it into practice? Well, like most things, the problem is that we are continuously lost in thoughts. So the first step now in practice is to get that little bit of stillness into my life. Just that bit of pause, so that I can at least realize, there is some cognizance happening that I seem to be lost in thoughts. This mind seems to be continuously chattering. And the moment we start acknowledging this thing, which can happen by way of multitude of options, mindfulness, walking in the park, getting a hobby such as music, meeting the right people, having introspective conversations. But once we start realizing, okay, I'm lost in thoughts, that is where the journey starts. The journey of making my mind more subtle, more sensitive to these continuous chatterings which is happening. And as I become more sensitive to these things, I also start seeing what is hindering me from being constantly present. What is distracting me? And as we start articulating, as we start seeing, okay, my problem seems to be chattering, boredom, kind of a restlessness, kind of a desire or an aversion. The more we start seeing these things, the more we are priming ourselves to actually combat them, actually remove them, actually make them loosen a bit. So that's the first part of practice. But before we start, one thing which we should try to also acknowledge is that we have decades of these patterns built up. These are all so habitual to us that they seem automatic. And it will take some time. There will be some gradual chipping away of these bad habits before we start seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, before we start enjoying the process of being continuously present. So today, whenever you get a chance, whether in your journaling time or in a pause between two meetings, or whenever you find some mental bandwidth, try to ask the question, how am I meeting life? Am I being continuously needy and wanting and missing something? And if so, how can I resolve this situation?